Is there anything bad about kiwis? Because they're so good, Lynn. I could eat 19 of them.
Do you eat the skin?
I just don't know if that's really the vibe I'm going for.
Oh, okay. You don't have to.
I just like the juicy goodness on the inside. I don't know if I want the prickles. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Good Vibes FC. I'm Sam Lewis, a.k.a. Sam Lewis, coming to you from the Women's Game World Headquarters in Vermont.
And I'm Lynn Biondolo, a.k.a. Limpy Indolo, coming to you from kind of sunny, kind of not sunny Seattle.
Very exciting. Well, Good Vibes FC is presented by our really great friends over at Olipop. You can use code TWG20 for 20% off at drinkolipop.com. Today on the podcast, we're recapping those crazy NWSL quarterfinal matchups, including Gotham's big upset over Kansas City. We're also chatting the NWSL Awards, and we're going to be sharing our own personal picks for the best 11s of this season. And then finally, Lynn, we're highlighting the Deaf women's national team as they head off to their Deaf Olympics this week in Tokyo. But before we get into all of that, Lynn, how are you doing?
I'm pretty good. I feel like I've really turned a corner in my nausea journey. Thank God.
It's about time.
You're telling me. I was like, I feel like every time I was like 12 weeks, like I'm going to start feeling better. And people kept being like, no, you have to wait until like maybe 16 weeks. And I was like, what the hell? Another month of this is crazy. But anywho, I also got a facial recently.
Ooh.
And I haven't had a facial since 2023 World Cup because when I got a facial there, my skin broke out and I looked horrible.
Yikes.
And well, I got a facial and got a rash. So
maybe facials aren't for you.
Yeah, don't think they are. I just got really sensitive skin and I don't think that many products on my face is good. So,
well, that stinks.
It does stink. I just wanted to look beautiful and I got a rash.
Well, I'm so sorry about that. I can't tell from here.
It's okay. Like, it's just...
Was it relaxing at least?
It was so relaxing. Yeah, and I got like a little bit of a neck massage. It was nice.
Love that.
I know.
Well, I have a facial thing to report as well because my left eye has been twitching. And you know, your left eye twitches all the time. It's no big deal, but I Googled it and it was like, if it continues happening for more than a month, seek medical help. And it's been a month.
Oh my gosh.
And it just twitches multiple times per day. And I'm like, am I well?
Are you stressed?
Do I look stressed?
I've had an eye twitch thing before, and I think it's like a little bit of dehydration and too much caffeine.
Well, that checks out.
So maybe like add in a water every now and then.
I mean, I feel like I drink a lot of water.
Well, put an electrolyte in there or something.
That could be it. I'll report back soon if it doesn't go away.
We're going to need to seek medical help if it doesn't go away.
Will I, though? Or is this just something you can just live with? It's a minor eye twitch.
Yeah, it depends on how annoying it is.
All right. Well, I've been meaning to ask you, Lynn. Christy and I were talking about this on US Squared. Is it Christmas yet for you?
I mean, like, I want it to be, but I'm in a moving transition, so no.
Because you're going to go to Australia for your time off?
Yeah. So, like, I'm kind of packing. But the pumpkin is still out.
Well, good. It should be. It's still harvest season, technically. I do have a glimmering tree right over here to my right. I wish I could pan the camera to show you all, but I have a tree in here in my office.
You already put up a Christmas tree?
Well, it's just like it's not like my real Christmas tree. It's just like a little like
Charlie Brown
stick tree. Yeah, that's for my office to just keep me positive up here.
Do you like Thanksgiving that much?
Meh.
I was going to say, I feel like you're not technically allowed to put up Christmas stuff.
Take it or leave it, you know? Well, it was a big convo at US Squared last week because Christy and I both obviously have decorated already. And I just wanted to see like where you are on that spectrum.
I mean, I would love to decorate already. I just cannot.
Fair. You are with child.
I'm with child and we are on the move.
Well, speaking of being on the move, let's move on down to the NWSL.
That was good. That was good. That's a good
transition. I was waiting for a while for something that could transition us to the next topic, and like nothing was coming, so I just like had to take that.
I like it. Okay, go.
Well, it was a crazy weekend of quarterfinals in the NWSL. Everybody,
crazy.
3 of the games went into overtime, which was like, oh my dear Lord, this is just keeps going on and on and on. But we saw some incredibly exciting moments. We saw Marta Magic sorry, Lynn, to bring this up, but we did see 39-year-old Marta sprinting down the field, the fastest person in the whole world that I've ever seen in my whole life. We'll get to that in a minute. Lynn, we also saw the biggest upset in what seems like ever, with 8th seed Gotham beating 1st seed Kansas City. I don't really know who saw that one coming besides maybe us, but I want to talk about this game first, Lynn. Gotham, Kansas City. What did you think?
Yeah, I actually thought Gotham played better than Kansas City the whole game. And I think that at halftime, there was a stat that was like Gotham had 68% of possession.
Mm-hmm. It felt that way.
Yeah, which is incredible for them. I feel like, and we talked about this last week, that Kansas City has looked a little shaky in the last couple of weeks.
I know.
So I know they had a lot of players that were injured. I also know that Gotham had some players that were injured too. So I just want to know, like, what happened there?
I know. I do too. Well, let's talk through the game a little bit. Like you said, Lynn, it did kind of seem for most of the game like Gotham had the upper hand. They at least had a lot of the possession. They scored a really brilliant goal from Jaden Shaw in the 68th minute. It was like when this goal happened, I remember watching Jaden like turn with the ball and take her touches towards goal. And I thought she actually took one too many touches, if not two too many touches, but somehow she was still able to finish it far post past Kayla Sharples with her right foot. It was like a really great finish. Jaden looked so happy. And you kind of, then the time is ticking by and you kind of start going, well, yeah, Gotham's going to win. They pretty much deserve it. Then Ellie Wheeler scored this like near post. I don't want to call it a blooper, because it wasn't. It was a great shot and great to recognize that Ann Ketrenberger, Gotham's goalkeeper, was leaning the wrong way. But like shouldn't really have gone in past Ann Ketrenberger. She's like way too good of a goalkeeper to have that have gone in.
Yeah.
So now we're tied again. And I really remember feeling like, how did Kansas City pull this off? Gotham's been doing great. Kansas City really hasn't been generating the kind of offense that we're used to seeing from them. But now it's tied and we have to go into extra time, into overtime. And I'm like, Kansas, like, did you start thinking again, like, oh, Kansas City's going to have this one now?
I thought that the first part of overtime, the first half of overtime, Kansas City was like on top of Gotham. And I was like, oh no, Gotham, you blew it a little bit.
Yeah.
And I was like nervous for them. Cause look, I didn't care who won at the end of the day. I was like, whatever.
To be clear, Lynn's on a different team.
To be clear, I play for Seattle Reign. But I did think that Gotham, like I said, was in control the whole game. So it was just going to be devastating for them if they didn't win. But I also thought what was interesting in that was they didn't have Dabinia on the field anymore.
Literally, I know. That's one of my critiques.
Yeah, like she's incredible. That was a choice to be made, to be
Let
had.
me explain what happened first. And then I want to talk about what happened to Kansas City.
Yeah.
Basically, we go into overtime. It's tied 1-1. And then in extra time of the second overtime, Katie Stengel, who's just like an absolute league veteran, somebody who does seem to step up and score these big time goals when she's needed to. She like roofs it in. It goes off the crossbar and in from the corner of the 6 after Ann Kitchenberger launched this like free kick from midfield right into the mix. It got flicked on. Katie Stengel finishes it. And Gotham wins. They beat Kansas City 2-1 at CPKC Stadium, which is Kansas City's first home loss this year. Kind of a fortress. CPKC Stadium, obviously like such an incredible place for Kansas City to play, such a difficult place for away teams to go. Very weird to me that Kansas City was the only home team to lose this weekend, because it's just like, of all the stadiums, CPKC Stadium would have been the one place that I would be like, this is the team that's going to win. And I know I kind of already alluded to this. We did half-heartedly be like, we think Gotham could maybe upset Kansas City, but I said it, but I was like, I don't know if I said it with my whole chest. You know what I mean? Like, this is still surprising. I think just that the version of Gotham that showed up, they've been a little bit inconsistent this year, but the version of them that showed up like was awesome. And I'm like,
well, it's like the version that we've been waiting for all season. I think with the talent that Gotham has, with the roster that they have, every week I'm shocked that they're not like crushing people. It's awesome that they were able to show up when it mattered. We'll see like as the playoffs keep going. But my critique of them is like, how can you put that together through the whole season? But on the reverse of that, Kansas City has also obviously played incredible season. When the time matters, like you got to get up for the game. You got to be your best self. And they just didn't look like them either. I was like, what is happening?
It was a really strange and underwhelming performance from Kansas City. And I think that's where we're at right now. Let's talk about what went wrong with them. So obviously Kansas City had this incredibly historically successful season. They won 21 of their 26 games. They clinched the Shield like 7 weeks ago, which is so early, meaning they were so far ahead in points that nobody could catch them. They had a plus 36 goal differential. So losing this first game, yeah, it's a surprise. Like, I think on paper, if you look at the two teams, it's like, sure, Gotham could beat them on any given day, but nobody really thought that Kansas City was going to lose. So I want to do this as our gut check actually this week, Lynn. Our Olipop gut check of the week is what happened to the Current?
Okay, so here's a couple things that went differently this game than their previous games. They were without Temois, without Michelle Cooper. Vanessa's on maternity leave, but she's been for a while. Alana is injured. Elizabeth Ball came off with an injury. Bia apparently was playing injured as well. She had a sprained MCL. So that is like a lot of players that are injured. But I will say that, again, with the roster they have, in my opinion, a lot of depth.
Well, that's what I was thinking too. And then for some reason, to me, it didn't feel like the substitution decisions were like actually making them better. Like you and I already mentioned this, but why did we sub off Dabinia? I didn't understand that decision. Dabinia, to me, at different phases of the game, was like one of the best players on the field. One of the only people pressing for Kansas City. One of the only people pushing to create goal scoring opportunities. I would have never subbed her off.
Me either. I also think that Dabinia has a lot of playoff experience. So
I know.
In a moment where you are down a goal and also knowing that potentially you could be going into extra time, I want Dabinia on the field.
I do too. That was one thing that I was kind of like, this substitution pattern is weird. And look, the injuries obviously is a huge factor. Vlatko said about the injuries on Kansas City, quote, "It just tells us that all we need to do is just go in the postseason healthy. If we're healthy, if we have everyone available going in the postseason, we're a dangerous team." Obviously that's true. Like, I think especially when it's Temois and Michelle Cooper who are out, players who take Kansas City from a kind of like conservative team to a super dangerous offensive attacking team in transition. Without them, how does Kansas City even play? Like, I don't really know. Kansas City without Temois and Michelle looked conservative. They weren't getting those transition opportunities. They weren't dangerous in behind. Dabinia and Bia were trying to generate something. Of course, they're trying to play in this way that they just don't have all the tools that they've been playing with all year. So it was just like they looked conservative.
That would be my critique a bit, is they've played without Temois for a while. She hasn't been healthy every single game. Is there a way? I would say Kansas City is very direct. They go so direct, and they say Temois going to get on the end of this, and Michelle Cooper is going to get on the end of this. So yes, you always want your team healthy, but also there is a world in which you aren't healthy and things happen, and you have to be able to adapt to that and adapt a style of play. And maybe it's playing a little bit more instead of just going long and expecting.
Which they can do. I mean, their midfield's incredible.
I know. And I think that like, then you have to look like, okay, Bia and a Dabinia and a Michelle Prince, they aren't Temois, but they're very talented players. So how do you play to their strength? And I would say adjust. And I think that in this game, there was no adjustment made. It was just, we're going to play how we would if we had all of these other players on the field, and they didn't have them.
It's so disappointing for Kansas City. You want all your players healthy. You want the best version of your team going into playoffs. It sucks to lose this game. Part of me is like, did they peak too soon? Were they just like so good all year? Then I'm like, what do you do differently? I don't know. Like, it's like, honestly, it's super unfortunate for Kansas City. Gotham showed up, outplayed them, and won, and that's playoffs. There's a difference between the regular season and playoffs.
I don't think they peaked too soon. I think that they were tested in all the ways they did. It's not like they had an undefeated season. They had to come back from a loss. They've had to play without Chewinga. They've had to come back from a goal down. I just think that they didn't adjust, and then, unfortunately, Gotham showed up.
Gotham wanted it.
Look,
that was our Olipop gut check of the week. It wasn't really a fun one. I do want to know in the comments what you noticed about Kansas City in this game. What happened? What went wrong? I want to say congratulations to Kansas City. They did have an amazing season. It was historic. And honestly, I do expect them to have a revenge year next year. Like, they do still have so many incredible tools. If they all can be healthy at the same time, we saw all year how good they could be. So I think that we will see them come back with a vengeance, especially after, and I heard this, Lynn, this morning on social media from Gotham head coach Juan Carlos Amaros. Everybody listen to this.
We are Gotham FC, baby! Yeah!
Playoffs is crazy.
Playoffs
the name of the game,
man.
It's win in advance. That's the name of the game. It doesn't have to be pretty.
I
think about this all the time. Like when we were in North Carolina, of course we have to go back to us, obviously.
Please.
Every time we would play Chicago, like they had our number, and then we would get into playoffs and we would like crush it.
It is a different mentality, and like, look, Gotham had it. And like, that's sick. Like, that's what you want to see in playoffs. You want unexpected things to happen. You want teams to show up as the best version of themselves on that day. I do want to focus on Gotham here for a second and take a moment to talk about Jaden Shaw. When we think about where Jaden Shaw was 4 months ago, she was in North Carolina. She like wasn't starting every game for them. She wasn't getting called in with the U.S. Women's National Team. I imagine she probably wasn't very happy. And now she's made this move to Gotham. It's unlocked so much for her. She scores this goal, this huge goal against Kansas City in the quarterfinal to help send Gotham through to the next round. Like, so much credit to her for taking what could have just been like a loss on the year and turning it into something so positive.
I know. I'm like so happy for her. I think that we talk about this all the time, but it would have been easy for her to just say, woe's me, I'm having a bad year, let me start over next year, let me like get out of the situation I am in. But I think that every great player that I know has had to go through adversity. Yep. And I think that it's incredible to see such a young player be able to like flip it and say, okay, North Carolina wasn't the spot for me, and that's fine. That's nothing against them, but that's fine. And move on to what is a better fit for you. And it seems like Gotham is a great fit for her. She seems very happy. And I'm just happy for her. And I agree. Like I thought her goal originally, I was like, ooh, Jaden, shoot it.
I know.
And then she did this roll thing and I was like, oh yeah, she's fine.
The roll thing, I was like, I kept being like, you gave the defender so much time to recover, but then she just snuck it in there anyway. And I was like, you know something I don't know.
I like that we called it a roll thing. A soul roll.
A soul roll. I don't know what those are called. Let's ask Rose Lavelle.
Don't do that.
So Gotham's going to play Orlando, and Gotham had an injury situation of their own. Esther, their leading goal scorer. Mm-hmm. Poor Esther was frigid on the sidelines. Lynn, did you see her all bundled up?
Yeah, I was like, somebody get her little like face cover.
She
looked so pale too. I was like, she's getting cold out there.
She looked cold. I kept being like, if you're Gotham, you almost want to like send her to warm up to like threaten that she might go in, even if she's not going to. And Esther is not moving. Like she is too cold to warm up.
She is bundled. She's like, do not make me get up. I will not do it. I'm boycotting actually.
Obviously very hopeful that we'll see her next week in the semifinal against Orlando, which I want to talk about Orlando next. They won their quarterfinal against Seattle. Lynn, how's the team holding up in Seattle?
Everybody is obviously sad, but we did get to have like just a players celebration for Lou and Hannah, who are retiring at the end of this year, or now I guess they are retired. And it was just like really sweet. Everybody seemed to be in high spirits. And I think that what's incredible is our team is so young, and getting playoff experience, any experience in the playoffs is a great step in the right direction. And I think that we talked about this too, is to be able to go far. Sometimes you're like naive and you just make a run for it, but it's like having experienced players to be able to know what it feels like. And so I think that the team was able to just feel playoffs and the magnitude of that. And I think that's like a very valuable lesson. So everybody's in high spirits, obviously sad, but
yeah, it is sad. And it's tough to just like travel home cross country after losing in playoffs. And then you got to like pack up and like have meetings. And it's just like so dreadful.
I know. On the positive though, that they had been away since camp. So I think everybody was
since
like,
the FIFA window. So they were ready to get home.
Yeah, everybody's like, obviously I want to go home with a win, but like I need to go home. Like right now.
Yeah, fair enough. And I mean, look, there's been a lot of question marks around Orlando this season as well. Obviously Orlando won the Shield and the championship last year, and then they had a little bit of like a dip in form this year, especially after that big summer break. They went on like a long winless streak, and they lost Barbara Banda in August to a season-ending injury. But they've seemingly kind of gotten back on track. Haley McCutcheon opened the scoring for Orlando in the 21st minute, and then Luana sealed the deal with a late PK after Marta made that run I was talking about already. Marta just like to just like burn speed like that. I'm like, Marta could have done anything in that moment. She didn't like need to go to goal, but
no,
she just
like
kicked
it out.
She could have kicked it out. The game like literally was over, but she drives to goal from midfield, the fastest woman alive at 39 years old. I'm just like, how did you do that?
I need to know who's doing her prehab program, first of all. And like how you didn't like pull a muscle. I think what's incredible about Marta is the fact that she still has that speed, but also that she knows when to use it and when not to use it. Because it like comes out of nowhere. If it was me, I would have fouled her at half. I would have taken her out.
If you can catch her, she's just out of there.
Just full tackle her.
I literally was my jaw was, I just was like, what? It was so late in the game. I just was like, what is happening? Marta is so amazing. So Marta does this, burns everybody, has the fastest run ever down the field, draws a PK. Again, game's basically over. The PK is just now like, okay, now we're way past the end of the game now. Luana steps up to take this PK, and 18 months ago, Luana was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. She underwent treatment, and she returned to the field for Kansas City this past September, so just a couple of months ago. And she scores this late penalty kick that really secured their win over Seattle. And actually, Lynn, this was really sweet. This was Luana after the game.
That's crazy. Yeah. 1 year ago, I didn't even know if I would be playing again. And today I'm here. Nothing is impossible.
Again, obviously, I wish this wasn't against Seattle, but I feel like in that moment, you recognize that there are things that are bigger than sports, bigger than soccer. So it's like incredible that Marta was able to do that and basically she obviously didn't like write this up, but like give her that moment. It was just very touching. I'm like so happy for her personally. Again, I wish it wasn't against Seattle, but I think that if you look at it holistically, like it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's just, you're right. It's one of those stories that like transcends the game. And it was a really beautiful moment for Luana, for Orlando. Sad that it came at the expense of Seattle, but you guys did have a great season. And we'll be looking for you next year. One more thing about this game, Lynn. This is a totally different note. This was the game with the ref cam. If you weren't watching,
my gosh.
Yeah. Okay. So if you weren't watching, basically the ref had this like ref cam on the side of his head. It was like coming out of his like headset. It was like just a camera right here. And I don't know the story behind it, but basically it was supposed to like give the audience a view from like the ref's perspective. And it was just like so wacky. And at first I was like, stop with the ref cam. I'm dizzy. Like, this is so wild. I have vertigo. But then it became kind of like one of those jokes where it's like, show us the ref cam, because like they would go to the ref cam and it would be Marta like yelling at the ref. And now I'm like kind of like low key obsessed with the ref cam, and I want this to like happen again. I want more.
Marley kept saying this is like FIFA when you get fouled, it goes to a ref cam. And I'm like, that's great. I just need it like a little bit more steady. Like the idea was there.
Hold still, sir.
I was like, I'm going to vomit. I can't watch this. Like my eyeballs hurt. But honestly, like some funny pictures of Marta, I was like, you are an angry woman.
It was so great. It did feel like a video
was
game.
It was so,
at first I will say, I was like, stop. This is amateur hour. This is dumb. And then now I'm like, ref cam.
No, I think I'm still against the ref cam. That was horrible. I had to go like this with my hands every single time it was on. And then obviously somebody got stills and I was like, great, those stills are funny, but live, ow, my eyeballs.
I'm here for like anything funny going on during the game. Like we just like need it. Like we just need the comedic relief. Like it was so good.
That was wild, like a wild decision. I need to know who came up with that and how it came to fruition.
Yeah. Let us know. We want more. We want more.
We want one. We just want one.
Okay. Ref cam aside, hopefully we will see it make another appearance in the semifinals. Let's move over to the Washington Spirit versus Louisville game. Huge credit to Louisville for fighting so hard for this one. Ultimately, the Spirit won. There was a disallowed goal in the first half. That was that kind of like complicated offside call that, you know, they tried to explain and show us, but then at halftime, the desk kind of told us that it was actually from a few seconds before, which it was. So it was offside, so it made sense to call it back. After that, GIF Monday was able to finish across from Kouassi, which put the Spirit up 1-0. That was a great finish, great header goal. But then Louisville's Kayla Fisher got on the end of a ball into the box, and that was a weird one. That was like a straight ball that you're like, somebody's got to clear this out. But it just kind of kept bouncing and Kayla Fisher just ran onto it and finished it. It was a great finish. So that kept Louisville in it. Now it's 1-1. We go all the way to PKs where I guess I'm going to call her a resident PK expert, Aubrey Kingsbury. I don't know if people remember, but she actually had in the playoffs last year for the Spirit, she had like another game where she made multiple saves. She made 2 stops and helped send the Spirit onto the final.
I do remember because that was against Gotham where I played.
Sorry, Lynn. I forgot that. I'm just rubbing it in today.
I personally didn't even make it to my PK.
Sometimes that's a blessing.
I was like, oh,
honestly,
my God.
sometimes it's like, you guys can't blame me for this. I didn't even get to go.
Wasn't my fault. I know it's a team sport, but it wasn't my fault. Yeah, honestly, incredible by her. I need to know what she sees when she's about to stop them.
Well, same. And you know what I'm so interested in is like, I feel like we're kind of we're spoiled right now in this era of great goalkeeping. Like Alyssa Nair has become notorious for saving PKs and Katrine Berger has become notorious for saving PKs, Aubrey Kingsbury. And I'm like, this isn't normal. It's not normal to make this many saves. It's not normal to be, but like, I think because it keeps happening, it almost feels commonplace. And I just want to be clear that like, this wasn't normal. This was like sick.
I know, I do. And this isn't to take away from Aubrey at all because I thought it was incredible, but I would love to know how much time people are spending on PKs now.
Oh, you're maybe suggesting that it is maybe not entirely the goalkeeping, but the kicks aren't good.
No, I think anytime you can save a PK, it's incredible because it's like odds are against you. It's a massive goal, a small ball, like you're throwing yourself around. Yeah. I think the odds are against you. Anytime you save it, it's incredible. But I do think that some of the PKs, like the placement of them aren't in corners. They're not high. They're not low. They're just like right in the middle and kind of like down the middle. And so my question is like, how much time are people spending on the PKs? Because we also saw this at the Euros.
Yeah, some whack PKs. You're right.
Some whack PKs. And I think people need to get back to training those.
Yeah, even like PKs are such a mental game that I'm like, maybe it's the mental side. Maybe it's like just as much as you got to train the kick itself, you have to like think about it and be like, and not psych yourself out and be like mentally tough. Like I had phases in my career when I should not have been taking PKs because I could tell, because during the game when our player would go down in the box, I would like secretly like wished for it not to be a PK because I was so scared to take it. That's when you're like, this should not be my job. Like I need to get far away from the PK spot because I don't feel confident in them right now. And now that you mention that, it's like, yeah, going into playoffs, you just like really need to practice them and to be trained at them and to be like prepared mentally.
Yeah, I think that that's such a great point because when I was watching Aubrey before the PKs, she was hyping up the crowd, right? She was like so confident and you could see that she was like believed that she was going to save every single one of them.
Well, then she didn't even really celebrate when she saved it. She was just like, I saved it. Saved another one. And I was like, oh my God.
And I think that when I was watching, not that I'm like a body language expert, but when I was watching Louisville walk up to the ball, some of them looked nervous.
First playoffs, first club play. I mean, I get that.
And I'm not saying you can't be nervous, but I was like, oh, she doesn't look that confident. And then Aubrey would make a save. And I'm like, okay, well, that checks out.
Yeah. Well, I think in terms of the Spirit overall, I don't even really think we've like seen their best yet. And no. I think that they're on their way, but the Spirit to me feel like a team that have so much more left to give. I think, especially considering, you know, we all of course want to see Trinity Rodman back on the field. She was on the bench during this game. am curious, Lynn, knowing a little bit about her injury, a little bit about the timeline we were told, do you think she'll play next weekend?
I would assume she would get some minutes. I don't know if it's going to be a lot.
Yeah, I'm just so hopeful.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen their best yet either. I also think that we have to recognize and remember that they did go through a coaching switch mid-season.
True.
They're still building, but they also have like a huge depth in their roster, and they also have a lot of people on maternity leave.
They do. I know. I feel like it's safe to say the Spirit are going to be a top team for a long time.
I agree.
But I think in terms of this playoffs, I feel like they are going like this, and I am expecting them to win. I can't say anything with my chest.
Apparently not.
Apparently, I can't really. I can't say anything. I think the Spirit will win though. Their semifinal.
I don't know because Portland is such a wild card to me.
I know. We actually have to get to them. Before we talk about Portland, huge shout out to Louisville. First time for this club making playoffs. I need to shout out Jordan Bloomer, their goalkeeper, had an incredible year. Emma Sears scored the most goals of any American in the league. And Taylor Flint had an unbelievable season in that midfield for Louisville. So huge congratulations to them. Taking the Spirit all the way into PKs. It's like a huge accomplishment. And like, honestly, I'm like proud of Louisville. I think that was great. Let's talk about Portland. This is what I'll say about the Portland San Diego game. I do feel like it was a little bit like lackluster in comparison, partly because it was the last game. So many of the other games had gone into overtime. The game before it kind of like bled into it. And so like I didn't really start focusing on Portland San Diego until like the other game was over. There were a few really exciting moments. Raylan Turner tried a bicycle kick that would have been literally so sick. It was actually like so dirty, but it went right to the goalkeeper. Olivia Moultrie hit the post. There were some contentious calls, like maybe that handball could have been a PK. Yeah. So like a lot happened. It felt to me like the game could have gone either way. We went into overtime. Raylan Turner ends up scoring a header at the far post off an Olivia Moultrie cross that secured the win for Portland. So now Portland are playing the Spirit. I think with Portland, coming into the season, everybody was like, don't know. They lost a lot of great players, a lot of great leaders. Who are Portland even going to be? And now they're in the semifinal. It's like pretty sick.
Yeah, what I think is incredible about them too is at the very beginning of the season, I don't even know if they knew.
I don't think they did.
I think that they were like, okay, who are we going to be this year? We lost a lot of players. Our leading goal scorer isn't here. She's pregnant and we're very young. And what I think that we've seen is that they were able to like hold it together long enough. And then they finally figured out who they were. And I will say that Olivia Moultrie has just really stepped up for them. She has kind of put the team on her back a couple of games and was like, I'm going to score and not score one, but multiple goals. I'm going to score free kicks. I'm going to assist you. And I think that is huge. Like they needed somebody to say, okay, I'm going to be your go-to person. And she decided it was going to be her.
I totally agree. Olivia Moultrie's been incredible. She's coming off of just re-signing with Portland, I think through 2029. And I was listening to some of her like press conference and she's saying things like, I want to be the best player in the world. This is the place that I can do that the quickest. And I'm like, a player who has that plan for herself and that mentality is somebody who you want on your team. She's also 20 years old. Like, and she's experienced. I think that's what's so special about her. I'll also say Sam Coffey, who we talked to at length about the Portland Thorns a couple of weeks ago on an episode of Friendlies, is such an incredible leader. Somebody who has learned how to be a leader under people like Becky Sauerbrunn and Christine Sinclair and Megan Klingenberg, all of those veterans who retired from Portland last season. And so I just feel like they have something unique, obviously in Portland, but with those players and those leaders who have kind of like forged this new era for the Thorns. And I think what's always true about the Thorns is that they're always competing for titles. And it's really cool to see that that's still true because they've kind of like helped create the new generation.
Before like San Diego with their crowd and LA and all those, it was just Portland. Portland was the one who was like pushing the envelope of, and again, I know that there's been like a lot of issues with Portland, but they had their own facility. They had a huge crowd. All of those big things Portland did. And then on top of that, they've won the most championships. Everybody looked to them. So I'm like happy that they were able to stay within it. And what I think is also crazy though, like the last 4 championships that have been won are the 4 people that are still standing, the 4 teams that are still standing.
I know.
So Portland really got in there and kept that alive.
I know. It's super interesting. I think, you can think about like who's winning the championship, and in the NWSL, you think about this in like a broader conversation. The same teams in Europe seem to win their league titles every year. In the NWSL, it's always different. The last 4 years have been all 4 different teams, but it's like interesting that now they're all still in it because it does show some consistency at the top.
Yeah.
But super interesting. Shout out to San Diego. They've actually, I think what's been so interesting about San Diego, and they have, been in various positions in the table throughout the season, as high as 2, as low at they've moved around a lot. They are under a new coach, Jonas Eidval. They have all those French players that are incredible and have really helped define them. But I think the way that San Diego gets spoken about is that they're a really good footballing team. And I think that as their identity is such an amazing place to be building from. I know that they, lost in the quarterfinal this year, but they seem like they're headed in a really good direction. They have some solid young players. I think San Diego could be contenders next year once they have even more time with their coach and more time together. So let's look ahead. Semifinals. We've got Washington Spirit versus Portland. That's going to be in DC at Rowdy Audi. That's on Saturday at noon. I've already said I think the Spirit are probably going to win.
Yeah.
You agree?
I agree. I think the Spirit are going to win. I think it's hard to win at Audi too.
Yeah, I know. And then the second semifinal is Orlando versus Gotham. That's in Orlando on Sunday at 3:00 in the afternoon, Lynn. I think I'm going Gotham.
Say it with your chest, Sam.
I can't. I apparently have no
chest. I think it's going to be Gotham as well. But again, this is like a toss-up. Like, are we going to get the Gotham we saw this last weekend? Or are we going to get a different Gotham? And same with Orlando. Are we going to get Orlando at its best? Or
And that's why we love the playoffs, everybody, because we just don't know. So there you have it, folks. That's what we know. That's what we don't know. And now we have to take a short break. But when we get back, we're going to talk about a couple things, more things that we don't know. We're going to talk about the NWSL Awards. And we have some best 11s of this season that we are going to say with our chests. So don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everybody. Okay, so the NWSL Awards finalists came out yesterday. So I definitely want to talk about these, Lynn. And also, before the awards even came out, you and I, over the weekend, put together our own little versions of an NWSL Best 11. So we're going to go through those rosters in just a few minutes. We're going to compare, we're going to contrast, we're going to argue, we're going to fight for the girls. I want to start with the finalists for Defender of the Year because I'm livid. I do want to say congratulations to everybody. Very well deserved. But guys, Emily Sonnet needs to be on here. I am not saying this as her friend.
I agree. I feel like I'm able to have friends and also like be neutral. And the fact that Sonnet's not on here is like, what are we doing? What's happening? Did anybody watch the games?
These are some of Sonnet's stats. She started every game for Gotham. She played almost 2,500 minutes of soccer. She would have been an Iron Woman if she hadn't gotten subbed out with 2 minutes left in a game for some strange reason. She made over 1,400 passes, according to FOTMob, almost 90% accuracy. This weekend, she set a record with most NWSL postseason appearances ever. Sonnet has been a stalwart of Gotham's backline. Sonnet has been playing progressive passes, completing passes going forward, making tackles at the back, leading the back line. The most consistent player. I don't want to go up against Sonnet. I just don't understand what stats are being used. I feel like everybody pretty much agrees. Like, I don't feel like there is a case against Sonnet. So I think this one was just a huge mess up. We'll continue to talk about the award, but just know that it should have been Sonnet. Now I feel kind of bad talking about all the other people, but all the other people are great. It's not personal. It's just like...
No, it's nothing against them. It's just I think Sonnet should be in there.
Sonnet should be in here alongside Kayla Sharples, who had a really great season for Kansas City. She's obviously partly responsible for their impressive 13 goals against the season is very, very good. Izzy Rodriguez is also part of that back line. Izzy also led the league in assists with 6. So kind of has that defense, offense, double threat going. Then there's also Tara McCown, who was great for the Washington Spirit. Avery Patterson, outside back for Houston Dash, and Jordan Bugg, center back for Seattle, who also had a breakout year. Sonnet should still be in there. I think the midfielder of the year was probably the most competitive. The finalists for the award are Olivia Moultrie, Dabinia, Kenza Dali, Manaka, and Claire Hutton. And it's kind of tough to argue there. All those players deserve to be in there. Obviously, there are other players who had incredible seasons, but that's a pretty solid midfielder of the year list.
I would agree. I actually think these are all the people that I voted for. So you guys know how I feel about Manaka.
Manaka... Manaka is so good. I'll go out on a limb for the midfielders and give some honorable mentions. Sam Coffey had a great season for Portland.
She did, yes.
Taylor Flint had a great season for Louisville. Croy Bethune. Rose Lavelle, I know she wasn't available for the first half of the season. So I wouldn't necessarily be like she needs to win midfielder of the year, but when Rose is healthy, she's still one of the best midfielders in the league. Let us know who else we forgot. I would love to know. Rookie of the year nominees. This one was, I think, fairly straightforward. Riley Tiernan, who scored 8 goals for Angel City, had such a breakout year. Joined Angel City as a training player, Lynn, as a trialist. Makes the team, plays all season long, does incredible. Riley Tiernan, circle that name. Maddie Darlene on your team also. I remember watching your very first game of the season being like, who is that blonde girl in the wing? She is so good. And that was Maddie Darlene.
I also think that Maddie had 3 game-winning goals, which I think as a rookie is impressive.
Really impressive. And then Lily Real, outside back for Gotham. I feel like this one is also just like, duh, yeah, she did great. So rookie of the year, very proud of you guys. Agree with all of them. Lots of great rookies, which has been an interesting thing to see this year, first year without the draft. And the rookies did great. So who needs the draft? Goalkeeper of the year nominees, Anne-Catherine Berger, love ya, huge fan. Claudia Dickey, statistically such an incredible year for Seattle. Lynn, I know we've asked you a million times about her, but Claudia Dickey is so good. And then Lorena, Claudia, watch her dive, watch her kick, watch her save. Claudia, what's the song?
Close enough. That was good.
That was pretty good. And then Lorena, who we already mentioned, Kansas City only gave up 13 goals against all season. Lorena, as a goalkeeper, obviously a huge part of that. Goalkeepers need a couple honorable mentions too, though. Jordan Bloomer for Louisville. Just
sick. Great
job. And Mandy McGlynn, I just feel like you had a lot of shots against you, and you deserve some credit for that one. So props to all of you. Anybody getting the ball kicked at them just over and over and over and over, you deserve to be celebrated.
Yeah, and you're like flinging yourself in the air. It's crazy. Good for you.
MVP candidates, Lynn. Some obvious ones. Temwa Chewinga, Esther, Delphine Cascarino, who I was thrilled to see here because I have loved watching Delphine play all season long for San Diego. I think she's so smooth on the ball, so special. Love watching her go forward. Bia Zanerato, who has also been really standout this season for Kansas City. And then Manaka, which we talk about Manaka every week. Who would you vote for?
You know what? It's so hard. And I think that my question before I answer it for MVP is the same kind of question for like defender of the year, rookie of the year, all these things. Do you have to be on the winning team? Like, do you have to be on a team that wins consistently, is still in the playoffs, or does that matter? Is it like an individual?
My answer, and I have argued extensively with Becky about this. My answer is you don't have to be, but it helps a lot. This is when we were talking about Ludmilla, who remember in like August, she was just like scoring a hat trick every game. And I was like, can she be an MVP candidate? And I was kind of like, not if her team comes in last. But I think you could, but you'd have to score more goals than everybody else. You'd have like you would have to be so far above and beyond for your team winning not mattering. And that's where I could see Manaka not win, is because North Carolina didn't make playoffs.
I know, but she's so good. I also think what's interesting though is we have a defender, a midfielder, no forward category, and then it just is MVP. So then it's like, do you?
I know. It kind of feels like MVP is a forward. I think to me that looking at this list, the MVP is either Temwa or Manaka. And I think the votes, like I just feel like Temwa's going to win. Sometimes I just feel like the golden boot, the player that it's just like, if she's on the field, she's going to score a goal.
I know, but I just feel like Manaka is the reason why, she's not the only reason, but it's like a huge reason why North Carolina even got as far as they did.
And you know what? And now Kansas City's out early. And so that the weight of being on a winning team, of course, Kansas City won the league. They broke all these records. So I still could see Temwa winning. But I also, nobody's arguing that Manaka is not a contender for this award. Like, she had such an incredible season. She's so special for North Carolina. She elevates the team. And she's just so fun to watch play.
I know. I personally would vote Manaka.
Wow.
And that's nothing against anybody else. I thought everybody had an incredible season, and I think that they're all dangerous, and I don't want to play against them. I don't want to defend them at all. But I think that she scored when it mattered, not that nobody else did, but then also like she directed their team. Like she was like the central person of North Carolina that held everybody together.
Yeah. And she's just like a threat from every angle. Scoring from distance, crafty little flicks, balls through and behind, good combination passing, vision. Like she's just got a little bit of everything.
I know, but I want to start a petition for like, let's just put a forward category in here.
And then the MVP could pull maybe the best player from every category.
Exactly. Like it doesn't have to be the goal scorer.
Well, MVP is super interesting because it's like, is it who you'd pick to have on your team? Is it the person who had the best season? Is it the person who brings the most value to the league and the team? Is it the person who scores the most goals? Like it's never a defender.
That's what I was going to say. Why isn't it ever a defender? And I'm not even a defender. Like I want it to be the forwards, but
well,
I just
I don't know. I think that's just what the award has been defined as. But it's like we can define it. We can't define it however we want, but like it's like the voters can define it however they want.
I think it's so interesting because we're like, okay, MVP, the most important player, scores all these goals, but then we also say defense wins championships.
And you know what I've been saying all weekend? Goalkeeping wins championships.
Yes. So like part of me,
Anne. Give it to Anne.
Well, I was gonna say
Anne
give it to
Katrin
Claudia,
Berger, MVP.
Like I think that for like our team, Claudia would be up there because without her, I think that there would be more goals that were scored on us, and she made saves that were incredible.
Do you guys do like team awards?
Yes, of course. Like,
is Claudia gonna win MVP?
I have no idea. We have a party on Tuesday about it.
Well, will you let us know?
Yeah, sure. I don't even know if we do that. I have no idea what's happening. But I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying that Claudia needs to be the MVP of the league, but I think that we should, like, think about this. Oh, yeah? Am I just, like, a huge Claudia stan?
Claudia. Look at her dive. Look at her go, Claudia. Okay, I want to get down to business now, Lynn.
Oh, we haven't been doing business before, but we're
going
to get
messing around, and now we're going to do our starting 11s. Knowing what I know now about who are finalists for these awards, I feel pretty confident that I made some great selections. A lot of these names are in the awards, so it does kind of feel like I cheated, and maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. In goal, I'm putting.
You said you did this before.
I mostly did it before, and then I maybe also used it as a little beefing. I also have a bench, so I have a starting 11 and I have a bench.
Okay.
So I have an 18-person roster, and I have some honorable mentions, but maybe we won't even go there because that's just like way too much protection against myself.
No, literally say something with your chest this episode.
Okay. This is my starting 11. Lorena in goal. Okay. 3 back. Sonnet, Kayla Sharples, Tara McKeown.
Okay.
4 in the midfield. Sam Coffey, Manaka, Ken Zadali, Delphine Cascarino. I mean.
Okay.
Can you not? Up top, Temwa, Esther, Emma Sears.
Ours are very similar.
Okay.
I had Claudia in goal. Stats don't lie. Sonnet, Sharples, McCown.
Wow.
So same. I had Sam Coffey, Manaka. I had Dabinia and Delphine. So different.
Dabinia's on my bench. Love ya.
And then I had the same up top.
Wow. It's almost like we cheated. Or we just have one brain. Or it's just obvious.
Maybe it's obvious.
Not sure. I'm going to read off my bench just so people like know. I have Rose on the bench. I have Olivia Moultrie on the bench. I have Dabinia on the bench. Ludmilla. How can you not?
I know. Ludmilla's on my bench. She'd be on my bench too.
How can you not?
I might change Ludmilla and Emma Sears. Emma on the bench. Ludmilla starting.
I do like Emma Sears coming off the bench. I do like that. But I'm saying this with my chest. Then I also, on my bench, I have Bia and Claudia. This was hard. I have a long list of honorable mentions. I'm not going to read because I believe in myself. And I believe that this was a good showing.
That is a good showing. I'm just going to honorable mention 2 people.
Okay.
Sam Meza. Because I think that she has, I heard a stat in the game that she was like number 1
most
for
tackles or something.
Most tackles.
Yeah.
And so she would be on my bench.
Yeah.
And then Claire Hutton.
Yeah.
Would be on my bench.
Yeah. I think that's fair. Claire Hutton is a finalist for midfielder of the year. Big fan of hers. Okay. Well, we did our best. We're going to make little graphics about these and put them on social media. So check those out, everybody. And also, I asked this in our Discord. If you're with us on Discord, I want to know your best 11 of the season. So send those over to me. Maybe we'll read some aloud next week on the show. I would love to see them. So head over to Discord. We do need to take one more quick break, everybody. But when we get back, we have a very special feature about our deaf national team. And we learned a little bit of American Sign Language to wish them luck. So more to come. So don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everybody. Okay, Lynn, before we let everybody go, I want to talk about this very special team. Obviously, here at Good Vibes in the women's game, we talk so much about the U.S. women's national team, but the Deaf U.S. women's national team are actually heading to the Deaf Olympics in Tokyo. It's starting this weekend. And this team, the U.S. Deaf team, has won every major competition that they have entered since 2005. They have not lost a single game in 20 years, Lynn. That's longer than Lily Johannes has even been alive.
That's like incredible. I'm also jealous that they're going to Tokyo.
I know. It's going to be so cool. So we just wanted to share some information about this team as they head into this huge tournament. So basically, deaf soccer is just soccer. People on the team have talked about when we watch this sport, they want us to see the ability and not the disability. There are very few differences in the rules. There's no whistles. So the game may feel quieter, but no less intense because, Lynn, the players are not permitted to wear any hearing devices on the field, so they communicate non-verbally. But since there are different levels of sign language, each team kind of creates its own language with signals to communicate with each other on the field. So that even goes all the way to the coaches. If you're getting a message out to your whole team in hearing soccer, you just yell it out and then people pass it along verbally. Head coaches of the deaf team have described strategy as this game of kind of telephone, where you'll signal something to the closest player, and then they'll have to keep passing that along and signaling to one another until the message gets all the way around the field.
I know. I think it's incredible. Like I think it's absolutely incredible to be able to play while not hearing.
Yeah.
We obviously have been in stadiums where you can't hear each other on the field, and it's so difficult to be able to figure out what the person next to you even wants. So the fact that I just think human beings are so cool.
So Lynn, the other thing about this team is that this is going to be the last tournament for team legends, head coach Amy Griffin and assistant coach Joy Fawcett, who have both won World Cups with the U.S. women's national team in the 90s. They're going to be retiring from coaching at the end of these games. I played in my youth national team for Amy Griffin. She was the goalkeeper coach, but I had such a great relationship with her and love her so much. And I know that she has been such a voice for this program. She's been somebody who's really advocated for them to get more recognition, to get more funding. She's really just fighting for this group of athletes. Amy and Joy are both hearing. So they have spoken, of course, you know, they're bringing a lot of their soccer knowledge to the team, but they've spoken about how much these players have taught them. And some of the players are also going to be retiring at the end of these Deaf Olympics. Players like defender Sydney Andrews, forward Emily Spreeman, and midfielder and captain Kate Ward. These are the most decorated players on the squad. Kate Ward has been playing with this team since 2009. I think it's really important to celebrate them, to bring awareness to this tournament. This team has been through a lot. They've had to do a lot of fundraising until U.S. Soccer really recognized them as part of U.S. Soccer's program and part of their extended national teams. They have been through so much. They've done so much advocating for themselves. And now they have a lot of the same resources as the hearing team. And they recently actually got to play a historic doubleheader with the hearing women's national team. And Lynn, I know you were present at that game, and it must have been amazing to be in such close proximity to these athletes who are playing at such a high level and representing the country and representing a population that hasn't always been represented at this level. Is there anything you remember about that experience?
Yeah, well, I would just say, like, I think it's anytime you get to play for your country, it's, as you know, like, it means, like, there's no words to describe it. It's such an honor. And I think that the fact that just because you are hearing or not hearing, that makes you not fall out of, like, U.S. Soccer recognition of you. I think the fact that they were able to finally be recognized in 2022 was such a huge feat because as you grow up as like a young player, like all you want to do is play for your country and you have this love for your game. And so the ability to do that now, to have the resources, to have the medical staff, to have all of that poured into their program, I just remember thinking like, this is just so incredible. I cannot believe the human beings and how incredible we are and the fact that we are able to adapt and whatnot. But more importantly, I thought it was just incredible that they were finally recognized under the U.S. soccer structure. Because like I said, hearing or not, you should be able to play for your country and represent your country. That's like such an incredible honor. So it was an incredible experience.
Yeah, it's so cool. I'm so excited for this team. So they are heading to Tokyo. The tournament kicks off with a round robin this Friday, November 14th at 10 p.m. Eastern time. The medal round matches will be held on November 25th. And typically we're supposed to be able to watch these games on the Deaf Olympics YouTube channel, but it's kind of subject to availability. So definitely check out those games, check out the YouTube channel, support the team how you can. And we do have a message, which we learned today, Lynn. So we're going to do that right now. Good luck. Let's go. USA. We learned it today, Lynn. I'm so excited for this team. I can't wait to see how they do. Really quickly, before we head over to the inbox, I did just want to give an update because Arsenal and Chelsea was the biggest game of the WSL this weekend. We didn't have that much time to talk about it today, but they tied 1-1. Alyssa Thompson scored a pretty sick goal. She like took the ball off the field, she laid it off, she got it back, and then she kind of like chipped Arsenal goalkeeper Daphne Van Domselaar. It was a pretty great finish. That put Chelsea up 1-0. That was Alyssa Thompson's first goal in the WSL. But then Alessia Russo got one back for Arsenal. The teams ended up splitting points. There were some contentious calls in this game too, like lots of like offside controversy, which was bizarre. And now weirdly, this threw me for a loop today. Chelsea are in second place behind Manchester City. And I'm kind of like thrown off by that.
Why?
I don't know. I just always expect Chelsea to be in first.
Ooh, maybe the league is getting some parity.
We'll see. Okay, everybody, let's head over to the inbox. We heard from Nicole this week. Guys, thank you all so much for emailing about this. Let me read this email from Nicole. Nicole writes, Lewis, that's me, fear not. If you have YouTube TV, you can add a game or team to your library and it will record them in your library. And I pause things and can rewind because it's in my library. Hope you have YouTube TV or this was unhelpful. Much love from a loyal hot dog, Nicole from DC. Okay, if you haven't been here for weeks, across all of our networks of shows, I have been complaining about not being able to tape games that are maybe on at the same time or on really late at night or on at an inconvenient time. And I keep coming to the listeners and saying, does DVR still exist? How am I going to figure this out? And then a couple days later, I said, nobody's helping me out. And then I got all the emails. 30 people emailed me with directions on how to basically DVR. And basically, you just need YouTube TV. You can record stuff.
I want to go on a rant about this. I have YouTube TV. YouTube TV and Disney cannot come to an agreement. So ESPN is no longer on my YouTube TV. So if any game is on ESPN, you cannot watch that one. You will not be able to do that. So now I'm going back to cable. And then I'll DVR it then.
We have been threatening to go back to cable. Yeah.
But I actually didn't know that, and I do have YouTube TV, so maybe I will start doing that.
Yeah. Well, I have Fubo.
Okay.
I haven't really played around with that much yet. I'm not married to anything. I could get YouTube TV instead if I can record games.
Well, you can't watch ESPN though, so you might want to
I know. The whole thing.
It's sickening. I'm sick and tired. That's going to take us straight into the sick and tired. I am sick and tired of this. I am sick and tired of having to get a new subscription for a million different things. Netflix, Hulu, Disney, HBO Max, but you can't have all those and ESPN. Then you have to go to ESPN to get the bundle.
Well, you also need Prime Video to watch NBC games. You need
Paramount.
You need Paramount. You need them all. This isn't just about sports. This is about my other programs as well. And it's very, very difficult.
It's difficult. It's upsetting. I'm annoyed. I'm sick and
tired.
I am sick and tired. And I want us to go back to simpler times. Let me watch all of my things.
I just want 3 channels. I want 3 channels. I want 3 options.
And I want commercials back. Well, teach us some patience, I guess.
I regret saying that.
I don't want that. But I do want things to be like easier. I don't understand why I have to go across a million different platforms. Well, the amount of apps on my TV, it's annoying.
It is annoying.
And it's
It
probably
is
more
annoying.
expensive.
And we are aware, everybody, Sick and Tired is supposed to just be our release. We understand this is a problem that we shouldn't be complaining about. We do know that.
obviously.
We are living in the context of the world. Sick and Tired is our respite. It's our one place. And while we're talking about TV
let us be.
programs, did you watch the Selling Sunset reunion?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, there you go. There you go.
Not
There
yet.
is need for Netflix, and it is for the Selling Sunset reunion.
But I have seen some like spoilers on my my TikTok.
Yeah. It's wild. It's crazy.
Yeah. Do you watch The Real Housewives of Orange County?
No, but I really think I should. It's just
Yeah.
it's intimidating to start because you're just like there's 45 different cities with 45 seasons each, and it's just intimidating.
I know. I only watched the OC because I feel like that's the original one, and I was like watching that when I was years ago.
Yeah.
So I like know those people.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your good vibe?
Okay. Yeah. Well, that is usually how we, move on from our sick and tireds, move on from our negatives, is by leaving everybody with a good vibe. And I actually have a really great good vibe this week. Every single day, I have been having a Sun Gold kiwi. I don't know if they're in season right now. I don't know if I've just discovered them. Sun Gold kiwis. Kiwis as a child reminded me of sour Skittles. Like they'd hurt your mouth. They were green. They were sour. My mouth is watering just thinking about it because my mouth hurts.
You just
Sun-Gold
weren't eating them.
kiwis?
You weren't eating them ripe.
Fine. Whatever the kiwis situation is that I'm having right now, oh my God. Is there anything bad about kiwis? Because they're so good, Lynn. I could eat 19 of them.
Do you eat the skin?
No, but I would if you told me to.
You can.
I just don't know if that's really the vibe I'm going for.
Oh, okay. You don't
I just
have
like
to.
the juicy goodness on the inside. I don't know if I want the prickles.
I love that for you.
I know it's getting cold out and you just need a taste of tropical goodness, sunshine. Get yourself a Sun Gold kiwi. Don't say I never told you anything good.
My good vibe is I haven't thrown up in a while. That is my good vibe.
Good.
I know that seems really basic, but honestly, if you know, you know. And that's all I got.
Bless. And that's it, everybody. Those are some good vibes. Send us your good vibe. Write us an email, womensgamemib@menofleaders.com. Write to us on social media. You know where we are, Women's Game MIB. Join us on Discord. Let us know your best 11. Any other way you want to get in contact with us, let me know. Also, we have an interview with Jalen Howell dropping on Thursday. We are chatting with her today. I'm very excited about it. We're going to talk all about the big Gotham upset over Kansas City. Plus, Becky Sauerbrunn dropped an episode of Teaming Up on Monday with Dawn Scott. Very, very exciting. Make sure to check that one out on YouTube. And there is an all-new episode of US Squared coming out on Friday. Thank you all so much for being here with us. We just love ya to bits.
We love ya.
All right, we're going to go now.
Okay, bye. I love you guys.
Bye.